Good morning, morning, morning. How's everybody doing? Happy
Doing all right?
Tuesday. Good to see you guys. Good to see everyone. I see Corey Capone. What's up, Corey? Looking good, buddy. How's Cincinnati?
What's up, man?
How's Cincinnati? Cincinnati good?
Cincinnati's great. It's actually warmed up a little bit. It's been good.
Nice. Nice. I woke up this morning here in Detroit, a little bit of snow this morning, a little bit of a layer of I think about an inch or two. So it's been pretty neat this morning, hitting the gym, doing my thing. Very cool. How are things? I see a few people on today. I see Veronica on today. Veronica, how's Chicago?
Chicago is pretty good. It's just cold. No snow yet.
Yeah. You still in that high-rise apartment in downtown that you're staying at for the holidays?
No, I am not. I'm back at home. Missed it. My little apartment is just perfect. But
That's
that
awesome.
was awesome. Did you see that video?
Yeah, what an amazing view, huh? What a beautiful view. That's awesome. What's up, Daanish? Long time no talk. I know we chatted a little bit this AM. Good to see you, buddy. But, guys, so welcome. Happy Tuesday. Obviously every Tuesday we do this call. I would appreciate if we can be on video today for this leaders call. I see Gabriel, mi amigo. Welcome. Good to see you. Today's call is going to be our end of the year call for our Clear channel. For anyone that's new into my office here in Michigan or just across the organization, every Tuesday I do this call at 10 a.m. and it's really for anyone. I share it with all of our offices across the country. It's for anyone that wants to jump on. It really could be for people in our organization, outside of our organization. My whole goal, I realized this year, and the topic today is what did we learn this year in 2020? And I think everyone has learned lots of things, and some good things and some not so good things. And one, to kind of kick it off, what I learned this year is that I have a responsibility to help the world evolve, to become a better place. My motto coming out of this COVID 2020, fuck off 2020 type of year, like, see you later, I'm ready to move on from it and move into a new place and a new world, is I have this responsibility. I've learned so much about being an entrepreneur, about life. I've learned, I've realized that the things I went through in about 7-10 years ago with my parents passing away in a matter of 3 months to, being here at home with the kids for 3 or 4 months and having little to do, watching Marvel movies every night, that I learned that I have this responsibility to share my story and to share, how to look at things and how optimism and being positive can really impact your life. And so I'm curious what you guys learned. I have literally a list of 20 different things that I wrote down on my thing I was going to share with you guys. But I'm curious some things that you guys learned. And so that's why I asked if you could be on screen today and share, because this call is not just about me and about what I can share and what I've learned, but I think collectively we've all learned some things that are great. And so I'm gonna go around the horn a little bit. So Corey, I'm gonna start with you. I know you're a young entrepreneur, one of our partners in the business. What's one thing that you've learned this year?
I would say the biggest thing that I've learned, and I shouldn't say learn because I think everyone knows this, but be proactive and expect the unexpected, right? And the biggest thing for that, is things like saving money. It's things like, even when you're doing very well, don't take your foot off the gas, because, adversity, or I should say opportunity, is followed by adversity, like day follows night. And we know that. And so when things are going well, pedal to the metal, maximize things, save your money, don't spend it, because you never know when winter is coming. and you need to be prepared for it.
Awesome. Daanish, what did you learn this year? What is, when you think back, you're 2020, you've grown a ton this year. I know you're on the brink of promotions in the management in our organization. What is something maybe you've learned?
I think the biggest thing for me was when during quarantine, we went over the book called Mindset by Carol Dweck, Ben, Veronica, and I. And the concept of limiting beliefs was so foreign to me before that book. And just being able to identify those things now in my life and just being able to spot an area of where there's a negative outcome in my life and being able to just be aware enough to handle it. I think that's the biggest thing for me, and moving forward, it's been really helping me.
Awesome. Yeah, what an incredible book, and it's Mindset. For anyone that didn't hear that, it's in my opinion one of my top 5 books that I would highly recommend if you want to be a successful human, not just business. You want to have a great life. You want to have a great marriage. You want to have a great, be a great dad for me and others that have children. An incredible book that I would listen to audio-wise or read for sure. And it's interesting. I'm like looking at it for a second time. So an incredible book. I see Sanjay on. Hold on a second. I see some people commenting. So Maureen, tell me, what did you learn? I don't see you on the screen here because there's a lot of people. Okay, good. There you are. Maureen, what did you learn this year?
Good morning. What I learned this year is being more proactive and learn more how to respond instead of react, basically, because usually when the reactions are there, it's the emotions. So for me, the biggest thing this year is learning how to be proactive. Of course, there's still a long way to go, but I see progress and I'm proud of it.
That's awesome. Way to go, Kareem. That's awesome.
Appreciate it.
All right, very good. And Maureen here in Detroit, I know I saw you jump on as well, and I saw you comment on the chat. What did you learn this year? What's something that you're going to take away?
I learned to really have the ability to adapt. This year was definitely really crazy, and if you weren't someone that was kind of ready to ride the waves with it, you were not going to be super successful in the year. I went through a few different job changes, went through going, because I'm also a full-time college student right now, went through having my whole college career kind of turn upside down on me and go completely online, be cut off kind of from everyone. Family-wise, I'm huge with family, so not being able to really see them was like a huge downturn for me. And it was really kind of just figuring out the best ways to organize my time so that way I could, one, fit everything in, get all my classes done, make sure I was still working and still staying employed, because I do support myself. I pay all my bills and like have my own apartment. And I was like, I wanted to make sure that, I wasn't going to be, on the streets or anything like that. So really learning how to adapt with everything kind of coming my way and really be super flexible is like a big thing that I learned this year.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that. It's like one of the things I learned this year is how to work Zoom. Like the idea of doing a breakout room. What the hell is that on a virtual call, right? And how to play music, how to like create an atmosphere, right? How to play Jackbox TV over Zoom. How to play Jeopardy. How to play, what else we do? Family Feud, I think we did. Categories, a couple of things, like how to do all this stuff that we do not just for, we do the stuff at work, but we, for family nights and getting on a call and doing surprise birthday parties, like to your point, like the idea of my brother-in-law just came into town for 2 days and, spent Christmas with us, and we haven't seen him for a year when we normally see him multiple times in a year. So, a great point about adapting. Huge. I see Jessica Pello on. Jessica, are you there? It seems like you may be driving or something, but anything that you can share that you learned this year? Oh no, she heard me. There you are.
I'm on the expressway. Hey guys, hey everybody. What 2020 has taught me is to enjoy the simple and the little things in life. And also difficult times kind of show you, I don't know, the type of cloth that people are made of. There are people that are woe is me, or you know what, let's get up and let's go to work. So difficult times reveal the type of cloth, and appreciating the little things in life that you have.
Couldn't agree more. Yeah, it's funny you say that. So one of the things that I wrote down is where is it? People are succeeding in the world that you're making excuses about. So that was one of the things I learned this year, is there's always going to be a reason why people can't do something or not able to do something, when there is someone else who is pivoted and adapted and is doing what you say can't be done, essentially. So, and I'm not saying you, Jess, but I'm just saying just people in general, right? So, cool, very good. Chad, what about you? What's something that you've learned this year, 2020?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things that I've learned is just how to work with people when they're going through crazy times themselves. You know, I think before this, you know, a lot of times people's mentality is just, you know, just get your work done and, you know, and just leave your personal lives at home and just focus on that. And I think we've seen that during this pandemic and during 2020, it's you can't have that just straight mentality. And I know myself, I've worked with that and how I talk with people and how I you know teach people and all that. So I think that's probably one of my biggest things that I've learned this year is working with people in a different limelight.
Yeah, I agree. It's like I know you and I have had a lot of conversations around giving people love, right? They're going through things. You never know, like looking at these little squares, right? Another thing I've learned is how much I need that social connection, right? And I need that face-to-face, you know, relationship, and I need to be around our team, and I mean around just friends and family in general. So I can't tell as I'm looking at these squares, you know, half the squares, you know, as I said, I want you guys to be on screen. Half the squares have since gone off screen, right? So what's going on in that screen behind the name? We have no idea. And so how to like still be supportive and give people love and help people get through whatever they're going through. I think I've learned that we got to be, you know, aware that there's something going on in that world. And normally if you're with someone, you can kind of tell, you can feel the energy, but you can't feel any energy over a computer, right? So it's tricky. It's tricky. I see Sanjay, I see you on, buddy. And I see Geeta coming in there. Hi, Geeta.
How are you?
Good. So Sanjay, what's one thing that you learned this year besides the fact that your mom is amazing?
Yeah, she's bringing me breakfast right now, so that's awesome. So love you, Mom. So the biggest thing I learned this year was just determination, right? We went through a pandemic, we came out of it, and now we're on top of the world doing the best we can. And really just, I mean, seeing Jason get promoted and the things that I've seen in this business, I mean, it's just created such a good opportunity for me and my family. And I've done so much for everyone around me and just became such a better person because I've been so determined in this pandemic. And I've really learned how strong your mind is when you go through hard times, that no matter what happens to you, as long as you stay determined through all of it, you can really make something out of yourself. So I think that's awesome. Nice.
Very nice. Gabrielle, I know you're just joining our team. And besides before joining the team, is there anything you're going to take away from 2020? What have you learned this year?
Not to get too comfortable. I think I'm very disciplined, and I feel like being focused is the best route to success. And when you get too comfortable, you start to lose focus. Because when you give somebody, you know, all the comfort they want, there's really no need to be determined anymore. You get too comfortable and you lose focus. So that's what I've taken away. I can't get too comfortable. Everyone wants comfort, but too comfortable.
Too much is bad. Yeah. Yeah, no, that's awesome. You gotta definitely, the more comfortable it's, I think the think they say growth occurs when you're uncomfortable, and get comfortable with being uncomfortable if you want to grow, if you want to get ahead.
Absolutely.
Cool. And besides, I'm asking a few people, you know, on the call, is there anyone that wants to share some things that they've learned that I haven't, you know, necessarily asked directly?
Yeah, I'll go.
Yep. Go ahead. Tyler, ladies first. I heard one of the ladies.
For me, I would say self-development is never ending. Regardless of if you think you've thrown a lot in one area, you can always improve and look for different ways or different viewpoints that you can grow.
Awesome.
I would say definitely, and one thing I always tell like Sanjay and a lot of people I learned is save your money so it can save you. Right. So I remember like right when the pandemic happened and we were the only ones working, and it was like a day-to-day thing. And I remember just being like, you know, I had some money saved, but it wasn't like a massive amount, as much as it probably should have been. And I just remember just being like, yeah, I had no control over it. Luckily, you know, we never got pulled out, so we were still able to make money, and obviously still stacking a lot of money. So just always save money. That's one thing I really did learn.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing, Jacob.
I think the biggest thing that I learned was to really be grateful for what I have and different opportunities. And this has honestly been the best opportunity for me. Before I came in, I didn't have the greatest mindset in some certain things. For a little while, I was one of those like, woe is me, why is this stuff happening? This company really taught me how to build a better mindset, and positivity is everything. And I wouldn't have been able to do it without the amazing culture that I've seen, with all the help from Sanjay, you can really just everybody helping me grow, learning different things to become the person that I am today, as well as all the travel opportunities and different things like that that I've never been able to experience in the past.
Awesome. Anyone else? Anyone else like to share?
I'll go next, I guess.
Sure. Go ahead, Mohammed.
I also want to say hi, everyone. I'm brand new here. This is basically my, I guess, first day training,
Yeah.
if you want to call it. 2020 has been one crazy hell of a year, but I think as the world is going through it, we're all just learning and evolving. Something nobody was prepared for, and with that, we all now have learned something. And 20 years from now, we can all be like, hey, remember 2020, that time in the history books? When we're showing maybe our kids or our grandchildren or anyone, and we can all just kind of laugh it off, hopefully one day, as something that was a terrible year. But I'm really glad that we all kind of learned to get and work together in these hard times.
That's awesome.
I think that's the most important thing.
That's awesome.
I'll go next. One thing I learned this year, I think the biggest thing for me was being able to remain humble. Just through the process and everything, it's important to stay lowly and remain humble for you to be able to grow. It's a scripture I always lean on. It's like, humble yourselves under the mighty hand of God, and he'll exalt you in due season. And on the flip side, if you're proud, he'll resist you. And it's like, it's nothing like being resisted from being able to grow and everything. It's no fun. It's like you can kind of see that in the world, just how everything's changed, and you know, these big companies just at the drop of a dime just go bankrupt and can't provide for the employees or can't sell any products, and everything just stopped. And it's like they probably never would have thought that would have happened in a million years before 2020. So
Right.
just staying humble.
Awesome. Love it. Thanks for sharing. Anyone else like to share?
Yeah, I like to share.
Go ahead, Veronica.
So, for today, I'm sorry. So some things I learned this year, I definitely feel like just realizing how important health is, just making sure that we're taking care of ourselves, because if we don't take care of ourselves, we can't show up for all the people that we care about, especially sleep. Sleep is so important. And just moving our bodies. You always talk about how you move your body, you work out every day, mostly for mentality as well. So I've just learned how important that is, especially everyone on my team. We even have a little group me workout accountability going on. And then just how important gratitude is, and the people that you care about, you got to tell them every day, because you never know. Tell people that you love them. Tell people you appreciate them, because you never know how much that can change somebody's day. So
Awesome. Love it. Anyone else like to share things you learned this year? Sanjay throwing you some love, Veronica, on the chat.
Veronica had a really awesome idea though about doing a group me workout. Can we do that?
Yeah, of course you can.
I would love to start an office workout chat.
we just
awesome.
do a muscle emoji when we work out. I think I was the only one who did it today. I'm calling all you guys out on my group.
Right. Yeah, Veronica's like, ¿Dónde estamos? I was the only one here. For anyone that doesn't know, where are we? That's what I said. All right, so so I put down a couple things I'll share with you guys, some things that I've learned, and one of them I said, number one was the outside world won't affect your inner world unless you let it. You know, so I realized that you know, there's a lot of people, a lot of negativity, and in the world in general. There's a lot of people that are throwing fire at people, you know, whether it's in stores or in day-to-day life, and you know, and so I realized that I have to be strong inside, and that's why, to your point, I do little routines in the morning to stay strong, to make sure I show up for my family. Another thing I put down, number two, was the more I spend time learning, audiobooks, reading, just my daily, weekly routines, the more fulfilled I am, and the more I feel I can give to other people. And so, and I a huge value of mine is service and giving. Number three, I put people are very predictable, human behavior. Life is hard, but you choose your hard. Being broke is hard. Working your ass off is hard. But one is building momentum to being great, and one isn't going to get you anywhere. And so, you know, I think the interesting thing, because obviously we're in recruiting, we're a growing organization, a growing business. You know, there's some people that will tell you all the things that they want you to hear. But the reality is, you know, one of my things I've had for a long time is your actions speak so loudly, I can't hear what you're saying. Right? And the actions that I see from a lot of people on this call is effort and getting better and doing things when no one's watching. And those are, you know, small habits that can make a huge impact on your life and your career. Number four, I put, you can go out of your way to try to help other people, but they may still blame you for their lack of success. You can go out of your way to help other people, but they may still blame you for their lack of success. And, you know, and it's interesting again, because I made some pretty aggressive moves this year in business. You know, I made some pretty aggressive moves to obviously get this Target thing going. And, you know, there's different opportunities with different organizations and clients and things. And I've done my best to position people to, you know, take advantage of some opportunities. And, you know, and it's interesting how sometimes, you know, I'm still the reason why they don't do well. And so again, that's why I think it's so important in my eyes to be strong and be strong in who I am and what I stand for, because at the end of the day, someone's choices, their life and how they accomplish is really on them. And all I can do is give them love and give them support. And then, you know, life has an amazing way of self-correcting. And people work hard and do the right things, they tend to get ahead. If they cut corners and they do things that they shouldn't be doing and nobody's watching, they tend to fall behind. So it's a very kind of simple thing I've learned. Number 5 I put, which has to do with number 4, is can't let other people ruin your day. It's not about you when they come at you with their issues. It is them talking to themselves. So be strong and lend a helping hand, even if they don't deserve it. And so again, it's very interesting how people come at people with a lot of negative energies and strong energies about what's going on, and you know, thinking that because maybe you coach or you guide or support them, that it's your problem. And so I think I've had to not just remind myself, but remind, you know, people on this call that remember, this isn't about you. Them coming at you in this way, it's not about you. This is about them. And, you know, all you can do is support them and help them through it. But this isn't about you and you being affected. It's we just got to give love and give support to help them through things. Number 6, I realized that I don't have to spend $35 on a haircut anymore. My wife does a pretty damn good job, in my opinion. Yeah, I know. Check it out this week. So I'm $35 richer every month. So I think that's what's that? About $400 a year I just saved by learning that you can get some clippers, and she does a pretty good job. And frankly, with the kids too, I mean, an extra 20 bucks there. I mean, it's $50 a month I'm saving on haircuts. So, and for those guys that maybe don't have someone that can cut your hair, doing it yourself, I don't know, maybe. So that's also one thing I learned.
I think me getting a wife would be more expensive than just paying for the haircut.
Right.
Unfortunately, you're right.
Right. That's funny. Other things. Another thing I learned is I need true partnerships. I need 50-50. So I can't, relationships and conversations and partnerships in business in particular, if it's 75-25 or 25-75, meaning I'm putting more effort into somebody else that they're not putting into themselves, then I can't help. So if I'm going aggressive to support, but then that person isn't doing their part to pull their weight and to do what they say and whatever, then, you know, if we don't match, meaning the effort match, then I'm out. Like I want to be supporting, working, pushing people that are actually going to do their part. And you know, and that goes for, you know, people at any time of their career. And it could be people young in their career. It could be people later in their career. It's just, and I know, again, people go through things. So I'm going to give them always love and support, but I'm not going to push hard if people aren't willing to do the work on their side of things. And I think I've saved myself a lot of anxiety. And I stay, again, true to myself and my values when I realized that one. That was a huge one for me. Another one that I realized, I put, I can, I will, and I am. So either walk with me or get out of the way. So, you know, I think the other big thing, and I say it a lot on these calls, and as I've ran this thing for a couple months now, so I got to plug in my computer, is how you talk to yourself. The most important conversation that you have in your day is the one that you have with yourself. And so saying things like, I can, I am, I will accomplish has been huge for me personally this year. Another thing that I learned this year is when you give to the world, the universe will give back to you tenfold. And good people will realize that, hey, you know, taking in the positivity and really thinking it through, and then now the ripple effect of giving to other people, I think has been huge. Another thing I learned is Marvel movies, DC movies are cool. Popcorn and movie night with the kids is fun. So some of you guys that don't know, that didn't know me, through the last 6 months, so one of the things that my family did was we looked up basically the Marvel movies and the DC movies or whatever, and figure out, like, in sequence, like what movie was first, not when they came out, but like what movie was first, what movie was second, what movie was third. And we had our kids, even though the little one's 5, so it's kind of a little much for Mason, but we watched every movie in sequence all the way through over the course of a month or two. So I thought that was neat. I mean, would have never taken the time to do that, I think, and kind of do it that way. So that was one thing I learned. And I'll tell you, just the last couple I have, I put, it's our time to become better than ever. That's one thing also, like the time is now, carpe diem. I think Veronica mentioned earlier that you never know kind of thing, and to tell your family that you love them, tell your loved ones as much as you can. And, as people have different challenges with this COVID thing, some it doesn't bother them at all. And some people, obviously it's lethal. And so to share with people that you love and the people you care about, never miss an opportunity to do that. Another thing I learned this year I didn't realize is the government can pass laws that give you money like that. And apparently they just did another one. So, and it's like, I was like, oh yeah, I guess this makes sense. They could just print more money, right? And apparently that trillions of dollars in debt doesn't, although it could affect like the next 10 generations, it may not affect us too much. I don't know. There's a lot going on there. So I learned that too. And the other thing I learned just in general is careful what you believe and who you listen to. The media may not always paint the factual opinion or the factual data. They, depending on what views they have, and kind of who owns the networks and who influences the networks, they may influence the message in a certain way. I just listening to like Tony Robbins when he went through some of the facts about the pandemic, and having people actually, real true data compared to what the news was saying, it just kind of threw me for a loop of really thinking about, hey, what am I listening to? What am I hearing? What am I allowing into my mind? And so that was one thing I learned. And then the last thing I'll tell you, just I learned how proud I am of the business that we're in, right? So I know someone said earlier, I think it was Herstyn, you said something about, being a humble student and really being able to kind of adapt. Going through just this holidays, going to the mall, and driving, from here, 5-10 miles away, seeing how many small businesses have closed down, seeing how many big time retailers, essentially disappeared, how many have filed Chapter 11. And the fact that, we're in an industry that, one, in my office, we didn't close during the pandemic. And so to Jason's point earlier, we can provide people an opportunity to make money and to still, pay their bills and to do their thing. I was really proud that we decided to stay the course and do things as safe as possible. And then even coming out of it, I'm really proud that we're in an industry that companies need us. They don't just want us, they absolutely need what we do to make it. They need revenue, they need sales. There's an Amazon business that some of you guys don't even know that we're in the West Coast. And I don't know if you guys have heard of Amazon, but they're a small company that tends to deliver packages and things. But the projection from Amazon, from the call I was on yesterday, from going from $0 in revenue less than 2 years ago, getting into this pandemic and kind of moving forward, by the end of this year, 2021, it could be a $20 million business. And it was not even done through the normal face-to-face channels that we do. It's behind the scenes with call centers. So the idea that a pandemic forced us to react in a way to create this world of call centers that are in sales and talking to customers, et cetera, is, I think it's just incredible. And, so I'm just really proud of working with people and working with not just all of you, but people in our organization that are resilient, can get knocked down, can ultimately take a punch, because I think a lot of people took punches this year, whether it's outside of work and life and whatever, because of challenges mentally and challenges physically and emotionally, et cetera, but not in business for sure. We took a lot of punches this year. And the fact that we are still standing strong and we're going to be moving into the new year, and 2021 is frankly lining up to be the best year we've ever had in business after a world of craziness in 2020. I'm just really proud of that. And especially to the OGs, you know, there's a couple OGs here in our office in Detroit that, you know, worked through the craziness and still got out and did their thing to create the opportunity we have with 300, 400, 500 locations we got into at mid-year, and now setting up 2021 to be even stronger. You know, I really, really don't think of a group of people that I'd rather be shoulder to shoulder with and working together with, you know. So I'm just really, really proud of those guys. And Marty, I'm still standing. Yeah, we all are. I'm standing right now, actually. But there's a few OGs, and, you know, and obviously the crew in Chicago, you guys were among the first couple to come over to the program and working together over Zoom and getting people up to speed. And, you know, Corey, I know you and I have gotten a lot closer this year and working together and helping you reach your goals. And, you know, Chad, of course, here in Detroit, like, man, I've seen Chad grow in the last 12 months like no other, and his mindset evolving and his abilities changing. And I looked at things, and I'm just so proud of the day-to-day. And obviously there's a few people behind the scenes in our office with Taylor and Herstyn. You know, I mean, I think of their personal growth this year and just kind of, again, rolling with the punches, going from our entire recruiting system being in office, face-to-face, et cetera, and then moving it behind the scenes and having things done virtually, having things, you know, digital platforms that we launched in the drop of a dime from one day to the next, and just the evolution and people rolling those punches. I'm really, really proud of all of you. So happy New Year. I'll talk to you guys next year. Let it sink in. All right. And we appreciate all you do. Obviously, we appreciate you guys getting on this morning. You know, what I wish for all of you is the same thing I wish for my children. And that's that 2021 would be the best year of your life, emotionally, physically, financially. And you start making steps to who you want to become, things you dream about, things that, you know, you have the butterflies in your belly about. That's the stuff that I think is important to work towards, you know. And I purposely put the pictures behind me that I do, and I don't have, I'm in the house office today, but like the things I dream about is like the stadium that Corey and I and a few others that were in, you know, a few years ago in Moscow, 110,000 people watching, all maniacs, of course, all maniacs watching soccer at the World Cup. I dream about that stuff and going to the premiership. I have a buddy of mine who's in our business, who's actually college roommate, runs Fox Sports Europe, and he can get me front row seats to Chelsea. And like we're talking and planning trips towards the end of the year when we can actually get back in the stadium to watch premiership front row stuff. And that's the stuff I dream about. And taking my boys there and have them introduce them to Pulisic and those kids. I mean, that'd be nothing more gratifying. So, but I wish you guys the best. Have an amazing new year. Be safe. And obviously we'll talk to you guys next week. Cool. See you guys. I'll have my office hang back.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ken.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Ken.
Thank you, Ken. Be blessed.